Buenos Aires, Argentina. The day after the robbery. The sun rose over a city in shock. TV channels played the same headline. Robbers escape through tunnel, millions missing. Police were embarrassed. The country was stunned. Everyone asked the same thing. Who planned this? Police looked through every camera, every phone call, every clue. But one name kept coming up. A man who didn't match the others. A man who had no criminal past. No fingerprints. No mugshots. No record. His name. Fernando Araujo. Araujo was strange. He didn't work a normal job. He didn't follow a schedule. He lived in a quiet house. Alone. He painted. He read books. He did martial arts. He once told someone, "The only way to be free is to stay outside the system." He didn't rob banks for money. He robbed for art. He believed the heist was a performance. A real-life painting. One that would never be forgotten. And he was right. 6 months before the robbery, Araujo rented a small house near Banco Río. It looked like nothing. Old, boring, quiet. But underneath, it was the start of a tunnel. He studied the sewer maps. He timed the police response. He even made blueprints of the bank. Every move was tested. He brought in 5 men. Not just any men. Specialists. One was a safecracker. One was a mechanic. One was a tunnel digger. One was an actor. One was a conman. Together, they became the perfect crew. They worked at night. Quiet. Slow. Careful. The tunnel had to reach under the bank vault. They used hand tools. Ropes. Lights powered by batteries. They reinforced the walls with wood. So it wouldn't collapse. It took them months. But they never gave up. No one heard them. No one saw them. When it rained, they stopped. When police drove by, they hid. But every night, inch by inch, they got closer. One man became the face of the heist. Luis Mario Vitet Lanes. From Uruguay. A master of lies. He wore fake glasses. Fake beard. Fake voice. He talked to police during the standoff. He made demands. He bought them time. He was smart. Charming. And bold. Police thought he was dangerous. But the truth? He never even carried a real gun. It was all acting. Weeks after the heist, the crew split the money. They celebrated. But trust doesn't last forever. One man, El Doc, started talking. He got scared. He felt left out. He had helped dig the tunnel. But he wanted more. So he told someone. And that someone told police. And just like that, the perfect crime had a crack. In March 2006, 2 months after the robbery, police arrested a man named Beto de la Torre. He was found with a fake ID. And in his home, they found something strange. Photos of the tunnel. Blueprints of the bank. Notes about the heist. It was their first real lead. But Beto said nothing. He was loyal. Until he wasn't. Beto finally gave them names. The artist, Fernando Araujo. The actor, Vitet Lanes. The mechanic, Sebastián García Bolster. The digger, Ruben de la Torre. Police were shocked. These were not gangsters. They were regular men. But together, they had fooled the world. Police raided Araujo's house. Inside, they found art books, martial arts gear, And a small model of the bank. With a tiny tunnel running under it. It was proof. This wasn't just a robbery. It was a design. A dream. A performance. Araujo called it a work of art against the system. The people of Argentina were divided. Some were angry. They lost money. Family jewels. Secrets. But many others. They cheered. They said. No one died. They beat the rich banks. It was clever, not cruel. The robbers became folk heroes. Like Robin Hood. But police had one job. Bring them all in. While police hunted the others. Araujo stayed quiet. He stopped painting. He barely spoke. But inside his mind, he was still playing the game. He believed. If I confess nothing, they'll prove nothing. And for a while, it worked. No fingerprints. No photos. No cameras inside the tunnel. But the pressure was growing. In June 2006, 6 months after the heist, police finally arrested Araujo. He said only one thing. Did you enjoy the show? Then he smiled. In court, something strange happened. Araujo stood up. He confessed. He told the full story. How he planned it. How he chose each man. How they dug the tunnel. How they fooled the police. How they left through the sewers. The courtroom was silent. Then he said. It was never about money. It was about beauty. The judge was stunned. The people watched on TV. And newspapers wrote. The robbery that became a legend. Buenos Aires, Argentina. Winter 2006. The city was colder now. Not just because of the season. But because the truth was starting to come out. And the robbers? They were no longer shadows in the dark. By mid-2006, 5 men were behind bars. They sat in court. Shoulders straight. Eyes calm. The courtroom was full. Reporters. Families. People holding their breath. Each man had a nickname. The artist, Fernando Araujo. The actor, Betet Lanes. The mechanic, Garcia Bolster. The digger, Ruben de la Torre. The brains, Beto de la Torre. The world wanted answers. The judge wanted justice. And the crew? They still smiled. The trial was strange. No one shouted. No one cried. Each man told the story like a calm movie. We had no real guns. We didn't hurt anyone. We made sure the hostages were okay. We only wanted to outsmart the system. One hostage even said. They treated us with kindness. It was scary, but not violent. But still. It was a crime. And the law had rules. The bank had lost over $20 million. Jewels. Gold. Cash. And secrets hidden in safety boxes. The police found only a small part. Most of it. Still missing. Gone. Police asked. Where is the rest? The men gave no answers. Betet joked. Maybe it's under your floor. The courtroom laughed. The judge did not. Police began looking harder. They believed. There must have been someone inside the bank. An employee. A guard. A tech worker. One guard was questioned. But no charges were made. Still, rumors stayed. Some believed the crew had a helper inside. Someone who gave them the vault layout. The keys. The timing. To this day. No one knows the full truth. Not all the robbers were loyal. Some wanted to talk. Some wanted deals. Some blamed each other. Police offered shorter sentences, better prisons, protection. And slowly, the walls of silence began to break. One man said, Araujo gave the orders. He was the boss. Another said, I didn't even know we'd take hostages. I was only told to dig. Truth or lies? No one knew for sure. 2 crew members were still on the run. One of them, Julian Zaloecheverria, the getaway driver. He vanished after the heist. No passport records. No camera footage. Just gone. The other was a man known only as the Phantom. Some say he helped plan the tunnel. Others say he was a backup robber who never showed up. To this day, neither man has been caught. The trial ended in 2007. The judge spoke slowly. He looked each man in the eyes. Fernando Araujo, 14 years. Vitet Lanes, 21 years. Ruben de la Torre, 15 years. Garcia Bolster, 9 years. Beto de la Torre, 8 years. But even with those numbers, no one really felt justice. The money was still gone. The secrets were still buried. The people were still guessing. Outside the court, a woman cried. She lost her family's savings in the robbery. They stole more than money. They stole our peace. But down the street, a group held signs. Free the artists. Down with the banks. The country was split. Some said the robbers were criminals. Others called them genius rebels. Araujo spent his time in prison reading books and meditating. He refused to say sorry. He said, I didn't hurt anyone. I made a point. Vitet was different. He wrote poems. Told jokes. Gave interviews. He even said, jail is boring. I liked the planning more. But secretly, some believed they were still hiding money. Waiting to come out, and enjoy it later. In the years that followed, books were written. Podcasts were made. A Netflix-style movie was filmed. El Robo del Siglo, the heist of the century. It told their story. Their tunnel. Their tricks. But no movie captured the full mystery. Because part of the story still wasn't clear. For the hostages in the bank, the pain stayed. One woman said, I was blindfolded. I didn't know if I would live. Another said, they were polite. But they stole more than money. They stole trust. Some refused to speak at all. Even years later, they still had nightmares. What if one man had made a mistake that day? What if one guard had fought back? What if one hostage had panicked? Would there have been blood instead of headlines? Even after prison, Fernando Araujo never backed down. He said, we didn't break in with guns. We broke in with brains. To him, the bank was a symbol. The system was the enemy. And the tunnel? It was his answer. Were they heroes? Or villains? Was it justice? Or revenge? Was it crime? Or art? That's what made this story different. It wasn't black and white. It was a maze. A puzzle. A mystery. Like the tunnel they built. You never knew where it would end. Buenos Aires. Years later. The city had moved on. But the mystery had not. The bank stood rebuilt. New paint. New cameras. New guards. But under the floor. Under the bright lights. The tunnel was still there. Dark. Silent. Full of secrets. Years after the trial, something strange happened. A book was released. Written by one of the robbers. It was called Sin Armas, Sin Rencors, No Guns, No Grudges. The author. Vitet Lanes. The man in the gray suit. The one with the fake mustache. In the book, he told his side of the story. His memories. His truth. But was it real? Or just another clever game? In one chapter, Vitet wrote. We were calm. Very calm. We had trained for it like a play. In another. Araujo planned it all like an artist. He knew the city better than the mayor. He described the walkie-talkies, the fake guns, the way they watched the police from the hole. He even wrote, we were listening to the police radio. We knew everything. The crew didn't just rob the bank. They played the police. Every step. Every move. Here's what we now know. 1. They knew how long the police would take to respond. 2. They used real hostages to make it look like a normal robbery. 3. They made sure the alarm system stayed silent during the dig. And most shocking of all. 4. They escaped 30 minutes before the police even stormed in. A former police chief once said. This wasn't just smart. It was surgical. But how did they train? Where did they dig? Who helped them? Some say they practiced in a fake vault in the countryside. Others believe they dug test tunnels weeks before. The truth? No one knows. They left no blueprints. No recordings. No instructions. Just silence. Even years later. Most of the money was never found. Not in bank accounts. Not buried in backyards. Not hidden in storage units. Nothing. Vitet claimed. We split it. We moved on. That's it. But police believed more. One theory. The money was laundered through shell businesses. Another. It was buried in farmlands under new identities. And a third. A second team helped move it, and kept it. There was one rumor that never died. That someone in the group turned on the rest. That one man gave a secret tip to the police. That's why arrests came so quickly. That's why names were known. That's why some robbers were never chased. Could it be true? If so, which one was it? In 2016, Araujo gave an interview. He sat calmly. Older. Wiser. But still proud. It was a message, he said. We wanted to show that brains win over guns. The reporter asked. Do you feel regret? Araujo smiled. I feel proud of the plan. But I'm sorry for the fear we caused. He paused. We didn't mean to hurt. We just meant to shock. A few years later, old surveillance footage was leaked. It showed men inside the vault wearing wigs. One man dancing while others filled bags. A hostage asking for water and being helped. The video shocked viewers. Why? Because it felt surreal. Like a movie. Not a crime. But it was real. Too real. While the world watched the robbers, few asked about the hostages. What happened to them? One man quit his job. He said he could never enter a bank again. Another suffered panic attacks. He couldn't sleep in silence. The dark reminded him of the vault. One woman said. They smiled. But we didn't. The tunnel still exists. Police sealed it. But some say it still smells like earth. Like rubber. Like sweat. A ghost trail under the city. A reminder of what once happened. Tourists now visit the site. Take photos. Ask questions. But the tunnel answers none. It just stays. Many things about the robbery remain mysteries. Who helped from the inside? Where is the full money stash? Why didn't more alarms go off? Who betrayed the team? Some believe the full truth may never come out. And maybe that's what the crew wanted. Or were they smarter than everyone else? A perfect crime? No. But close. Too close. One detective said. They walked out as shadows. And we never saw them coming. San Isidro, Buenos Aires. Present day. The street is quiet now. The air feels heavy. Like something important happened here. Something no one talks about. People walk past the Banco Río building. They check their phones. They drink coffee. They smile. But they don't look down. They don't think about what's under their feet. A tunnel. A plan. A secret world. Police sealed the tunnel years ago. But stories. They still escape. Children point at the building and whisper. That's where the robbers disappeared. Some locals call it El Robo del Siglo. The heist of the century. But for the ones who were there, it's something darker. It's a day they never forget. This was a real story. Every fact you heard is true. You can check them yourself. And if you're drawn to real stories that stay with you, subscribe now to Unbelievable True Story. Because every week, we uncover the darkest truths. Hidden in plain sight. Watch the next video on your screen. Or dive into our playlist of real mysteries and crimes. The next story might be even more shocking.